Hello YouTube, it is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about the show Ozark. Yesterday I watched the very first episode, so this is a new series on the channel I'm starting. I thought it should be pretty good. I mean, my dad watched it and he had some pretty good things to say, so I decided to watch it myself. Plus, it takes place in the Lake of the Ozarks. Obviously, the first majority of this episode takes place in Chicago because that's where the main characters are originally from. But eventually, they moved down to the Ozarks, and that's such a fire concept to think about. I mean, this is a great show. This is acclaimed as probably one of the better TV shows there is, and it happened 3 hours away from me. I think that's so cool. But it's about that washed money, man. So the series premiere of Ozark, directed by star Jason Bateman, introduces the world Marty Byrde inhabits by setting the stakes incredibly high. There are some crazy stipulations this man is gonna have to go through for probably the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Probably for the rest of his life too, because he's gonna get so tied up in this drug trade that he's not going to be able to escape. Not only does the first episode bring the Byrde family into the realm of prestige TV, but it introduces multiple supporting characters only to kill them, which is kind of crazy. They killed a lot of characters off I didn't expect them to kill early on. You know, when Bruce and... It's obviously a spoiler warning. If you haven't watched any episode of this series, do not watch this video. I don't know why I keep having to say that, but given some of the lengths of my videos, some of you guys should know that these are spoiler reviews. And when they introduce Bruce in the series, it's oh, well, they're gonna move down to Ozark, they're gonna have their financial firm together, and yeah. Look, it's Marty's business partner, Bruce Liddell, literally shot in the head in the first episode. Look, it's Wendy's boyfriend, Gary Silverberg, thrown off a Chicago balcony, which is extremely brutal. And if you've watched movies, if you've read stories about the cartel, obviously they don't give a fuck about anyone. They will do anything to, advance their drug trade, whatever trade they got going on. It doesn't even have to be drugs all the fucking time. The father-son trucking company owners that Marty works with, dead. This is a show that will leave a wake of bodies, and anyone who comes into contact with the Byrdes risks death because they are heavily associated, or they're officially associated with these people now. Ozark also opens with a bit of a fake-out. No, Bateman's Marty Byrde will not narrate the show, but a speech he's giving potential clients works as kind of a prologue. There are two key lines. I think most people just have a fundamentally flawed view of money, you gotta love kind of his monologue at the beginning and all, how he's talking about money. It's a really good way to open up the show because it kind of paints an idea for what this series really is gonna be. Marty doesn't value money in the same way as an average American, and arguably not even as much as his wife, who literally doesn't do shit. She's a stay-at-home mom. It's a mean to an end, a tool of his profession that can give his family safety. The other key line: money is, at its essence, that measure of a man's choices. If you make good choices, you're probably going to make a lot of money. If you don't make good choices, well, the latter is going to happen to you, Really cool quotes, just to kind of give us his outlook of money. I think that's really cool. It teaches you lessons, and yeah. The arc of Ozark will consist of so many money-related choices, and more times than not, Marty has made the right one up to this point, at least. Sugarwood, which refers to the nickname that Wendy Byrde, who's played by Laura Linney, has for her boyfriend's member, opens with a revelation. Marty gets an email from the private dick he hired with a video of Wendy having sex with another man, which is completely fucked up. That he can keep talking business while staring at his wife's infidelity is notable. There is no work-life separation for Marty Byrde, and there never will be. He brings his life to work. He doesn't have a separate, personality. He acts the same at home as he does at work, which is interesting. Finance and business are a part of every choice he makes, even the ones he's considering about his unfaithful wife. He doesn't really seem like much of a personality guy. He's just about his business. He's just about his money. He gets his money and gets the fuck out, which is kind of respectable, but yeah. Bruce, who's played by Josh Randall, Marty's boisterous partner, comes in to sweeten the deal before looking at a potential new office space on the river. The conversation with Bruce happens to be formative. Marty learns about the Ozarks and his life will be forever changed. Like, without knowing this information, like, let's be honest, Bruce saved Marty's life, and obviously it was necessary, or else the series would not keep going. It's also where viewers learn that Marty and Wendy have been married for 22 years. A family dinner, one of the most common settings for Ozark developments in the Bird clan, introduces Charlotte, played by Sophia Hurlitz, and Jonah, played by Skylar Gartner, the Bird children. So we kind of get some more characters as the episode goes along. We're kind of like getting introduced. That's kind of the point of a pilot. During dinner, Charlotte accuses Marty of always taking Jonah's side and gives a sense of gender division within the Bird household, I suppose. After dinner, Wendy makes chit-chat while Marty watches the footage again. He doesn't call her out. He knows that she's cheating on him, but he doesn't call her out on the nonsense. He just wants to live his life. He just wants to thrive in the business. He could give a fuck less who his wife is fucking, you know? Obviously, it kind of hurts him, like, his morale, but, yeah. Does he just not have the emotional vocabulary right now? Is it possible there's a part of Marty that relishes the control he knows he's now been given? Like, he has so much power over her with this video. He's clearly trying to decide what to do next, and it's hard to say how much of that is emotional and how much is strategic. For Marty, it's always a little bit of both. He kind of mixes those elements in together. He considers that Wendy's infidelity has given him license to do the exact same thing, because if she catches him doing it, it's not like she can really talk shit on him. He drives to a part of town where he can hire a sex worker and appears to do so, although the fact that this is a fantasy becomes clear pretty early, at least by the time the prostitute is using his full name, which doesn't really make sense because she's a prostitute, she wouldn't know his name. The important thing to note is that Marty's fantasy isn't just to have sex with someone else, but to have sex with someone who respects him more than Wendy. Because for all he does for Wendy, he still doesn't feel like she gives him the respect he deserves. Especially by fucking cheating on him. And Marty is the kind of guy who will drive to the wrong side of town but never open the door. And I mean, she is fucking someone that's richer than him, it seems, but then Ozark drops us into the action with the call from Bruce. This is where the episode just flips upside down. He's at Hanson Piping and Trucking with Dell, who's played by S.A. Morales. He's probably going to be pretty important throughout the series. The big bad of Season 1, apparently, who wants to know what happened to the $5 million that is missing from the books. Surprise, Marty's a money launderer for a Mexican drug cartel. Well, we didn't really know that from the start. We kind of thought he was just a normal businessman, but here we have it. It turns out Bruce has been skimming, which is ill-advised considering the type of organization he does business with. Why would you skim these people? Dell goes into an anecdote about Aunt Carlota, a longtime employee of Dell's father who worked for the family store as a cashier for 15 years, and the time she was caught stealing $5 to help her sick child, what should have been done with her? Both the Hansons and Bruce say she should be given a second chance, an answer that leaves them dead. That was the wrong answer. Because obviously $5 is a small scale in the business, and skimming him is a small scale of his business, so that's why he's bringing that up, but you're still a traitor at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many times you did it, doesn't matter how many years of business you've done, how loyal you seem to be, yeah. Just as we thought this was a domestic drama about Wendy and Marty's crumbling marriage, people started getting shot in the head, which is kind of a crazy change of pace for the show. Only Marty, revealed in a later conversation, knows the correct answer. Carlota should be fired because it's probably not the first time she stole. It's just the first time she's been caught. And yeah, very smart answer from Marty. Marty seems like a pretty intelligent guy. This series kind of has like some hints of Breaking Bad in it, and I feel like he's gonna have like that Walter White type of intelligence, and I hope to see more moments like that throughout the series. So as Marty's horrible day is about to end with his murder, he sees the brochure given to him by Bruce. The Ozarks, what a wonderful idea, what a wonderful business proposal. Sorry, I have a pencil in my hand, I don't know. I'm like addicted to doing this, I'm like pushing it back down, I don't know. It's a laundering paradise with a ton of coastline and hundreds of cash-heavy tourists every year. It's out of the spotlight and sick with clean money to launder the dirty stuff. There's not a whole lot of like DEA presence, FBI, not a lot of government agencies around this area. It's a pretty clean drug area. Marty makes crazy promises. 5 years, $500 million. Nothing but washed money. It's clean, it's going to be laundered. It's a crazy promise to make, but throughout this show we're going to see how he completes that promise. But to wash that much money, Marty needs to move quickly. As Marty works to get his hands on as much cash as possible, Wendy goes for her boyfriend, Gary, played by Bruce Altman, which is a terrible misstep. While Marty talks to his detective, he discovers that Wendy emptied their bank accounts, tipping off Dell to Wendy and Gary. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you were doing there. Poor Gary is thrown from high-rise apartment and splatters on the ground, literally like right in front of Marty too. Why would you trigger off the cartel, man? Marty manages to talk Dell out of killing Wendy, and it's here that he reveals the correct answer to the Carlotta antidote. Marty is clear-eyed about the world and knows what needs to be done. He knows what decisions to make. I mean, he's been working in like the business world for quite some time, and yeah. As the final pieces for the premiere are put in place, a conversation between Dell and Marty reveals this series' thesis. During the interrogation, Dell claimed Bruce and the Hanson kids stole $5 million when it was actually $8 million. So, what is that? 40%? No, 60% more than what he said before? That's a lot of money. Turns out Dell was fishing. Marty believes innocent people were killed on a hunch, but Dell was working on a tell. Bruce, a motormouth, was being too quiet. And that's obviously like some suspicion there. It sets the table for a show about reading people, anticipating, and noticing changes in their patterns. It's a valuable lesson Marty takes with him for the rest of the series. While the birds are leaving town, Ozark introduces FBI agent Petty, played by Jason Butler Harner, who had bugged Bruce's new office. It turns out that Bruce was about to rat on everyone, including Marty, to the FBI, and they had him as a witness type thing. By the way, where is Marty? He's driving into the Ozarks, where he stops to take a leak. Actually, he needs a break to cry, but then he sees the view of the massive lake and takes it all in. This is his new life. As his family joins him, there's a sense that this is an open space for a new start. However, the camera pulls far back, and by the time the credits drop, the birds are too small to even see in the woods. They're tiny figures in a big new world that they have to adapt to. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think of this episode. I think it's really good. I think this is going to be set up for a great series. It's almost going to be like a fucking Telltale series. There's going to be so many decisions that Marty's going to be faced with. I like how this is setting up. It's not going to live up to certain TV shows I've watched in the past, but I have a feeling this is going to be pretty good. I'm trying to think. There's probably about 45 episodes of this show, so it'll take a decent bit. It'll probably take some months to complete this series, but it's going to be a journey I'm going on with you guys. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you like content like this. I review all your favorite TV shows. I'm getting ready to start editing my Superstar video to try to get that out to you guys in the next hour and a half, because I'm going to my grandma's, spend time with my family. I'm back here from college. As you can see, it's the old setup, but